Thank you all for coming to learn about Onshape and what it can do for you. I am Scott Weiler, ITEA's STEM Center for Teaching and Learning's Director of Innovation. Our STEM CTL is specifically designed to help teachers in ways to convey literacy in technology and engineering, the often neglected part of STEM. So let's talk about Onshape. As a former engineering and robotics teacher for over 12 years in elementary, middle, and high school on 2 continents, I know finding ways to connect to all your students can be difficult. When I started teaching CAD, computer-aided drafting, we had to download it onto the computer and students could use it only in class. At the time, I didn't even have enough laptops in the class for every student, so only a few students would be able to do CAD projects at any given time. When I moved over to high school level, I made sure my classroom was more like a computer lab, so every student could use CAD programming at the same time. So they had time to make the project during class. They couldn't do my projects at home. Since I wanted to give the students as much time as possible in class, I had to be very brief about my actual teaching time. I would show them quickly what they needed to be done and then went to tutor mode for each student on specific problems they had with their projects. When we had to go to remote learning, like much of the world, I thought this part of my teaching was over. Our district, like so many others, gave out Chromebooks. And if it wasn't an app or web-based, it wasn't going to happen. I was excited to learn about Onshape, a cloud-based CAD program that allowed browser or on an app. Perfect. It had features that I hadn't even considered, like a share feature on Google Doc. You can work on parts of a project together, even at a distance. Even better, students could share with you and you could monitor progress, as well as get the final product digitally. Less paper. And you have versions. So if you start digging yourself into a hole, you can go back to where you want it to be. With everything on the cloud, students can't claim to have the computer crash or a lost thumb drive. And when you have more than 1 million people using it in education, it's not just a temporary solution, but a new way of doing business. I think this is important. There are several CAD companies out there, and knowing one usually gives you a head start on learning the others. So the fact that Onshape was developed by 2 CEOs of a leading CAD company makes it understandable that Onshape knew what they needed to be able to do to be successful in the marketplace. It is now owned by PTC, and that has many other software brands to use. As I mentioned earlier, there are over 1 million people using Onshape. If you see here, that growth has been recent, and it can be seen for obvious reasons. Will people be going back? Possible. However, educationally, a cloud-based solution makes the most sense. In the engineering world, projects that can have people working from a distance and in their own environment, and yet still collaborating, is a very promising opportunity. Being an educational product means nothing if there is no real-world applications. This shows there are many companies using Onshape. And, as stated, this product was developed by the people at SolidWorks. It has a familiar feel like many other CAD products. Adjusting to other products will be much easier. As you can see, there is a 70% sales growth over the last few years in trusted companies like Trek, Garrett, NVIDIA, Music Tribe, Kishler, Phil & Ted's, and Synapse. So we can see that there is many opportunities to use Onshape in practical and real-world applications. I would tell my students that knowing a CAD program was money in the bank. Being certified in CAD programming meant that there were job opportunities after college. There were even better job opportunities knowing CAD while in college or at technical school. Moreover, universities and community colleges are looking at CAD as a necessary class that students need to take to move into engineering and several other technical fields. They are less discriminatory about which CAD program the students know, especially if they have certification. This can mean a pass on a course or earned dual credit. You can see that the field in the technical drafting at $40 an hour makes almost as much as the mechanical engineer does. This is a very lucrative field that is still seeing a lot of growth and necessity even at this stage. The Onshape Certification by Design course overview states, this course is designed to prepare students for the Onshape Associate Certification exam. The course provides students with instruction and practice for all of the topics covered in the exam. Through the course description and the big idea, we see the Onshape Certification by Design course is broken down into 3 units that all have 5 learning cycles, a preliminary challenge and a primary challenge. There is a pre and post test besides the actual Onshape Associate Certification exam and quizzes within most of the learning cycles to assess students' progress throughout the course. Students will complete modeling, assembly, and engineering drawing challenges and will have the opportunity to work collaboratively while designing their own parts and assemblies. These challenges provide students with the practice and in some challenges emulate the Onshape Associate Certification exam. Let's break down the lesson for you to better understand what you will experience. Through this table, which will be presented to you, you have the first column which describes the unit. You will have multiple units that you will be working through. Each unit has learning cycles. The learning cycles have the specific guidance on what you are supposed to be teaching. Please note that it has a timetable on how long each learning cycle should take to finish. For each learning cycle, there is a big idea. What is the purpose of this lesson? What are the students trying to get out of it? What are the goals? You can use those in your lesson plans to better guide yourself to understanding what is needed to be taught. For each learning cycle, there is also a set of key terms that need to be defined by each student. These terms will be used regularly and are essential for success in the for the exam. Finally, the last column is our 6 E's. Engage, explore, explain, engineer, enrich, and evaluate. Each of those 6 E's for every learning cycle will definitely have more material in it that explains exactly what you will do to accomplish each of those 6 E's. For example, in Learning 1 and Unit 1, Learning Cycle 1, for the engagement, you will see the instructor will engage by showing them the video, Pixar, the math behind the movies, which will have a link presented to you. In the Explore tab, you will see students will explore the concept of geometric construction and sketching by viewing, which will have a video of its own. In the Explain area, students will learn about using the Onshape interface tools by viewing another video or being presented by you. The students will discuss key vocabulary and tools with each other and ask questions as necessary. In the engineering section, students will utilize Onshape to create the geometric constructions that are outlined in a handout that will be provided to you. In the enrichment area, students will explore additional geometric constructions using an additional handout, also provided to you. Finally, in the evaluate section, students will be evaluated using a rubric provided on each handout. Teacher can utilize the provided answer keys as well. We put everything together to make this as complete and yet as easy as possible for the teacher. So let's talk more about certification. It is an industry-recognized program. Again, meaning it can work straight from high school. And those jobs aren't fast food rates of pay either. But the test can be a daunting prospect. Thinking about how hard it can be for certification for adults so that they can get jobs as professional drafters. This is a fair consideration. You don't want to set up your students for failure. There are two sections of the test, the modeling and the knowledge-based. The modeling part is the stuff students will tend to enjoy the most. If done with any regularity, the process comes off very organically, naturally. Each process is a natural next step they have done dozens of times before. The knowledge side is multiple choice. I won't say it's a breeze, but the questions again are about the practice and the comprehension, which should come naturally after our curriculum usage. To encourage more students to work toward a selected industry credential while in high school, the Engineering by Design Industry Certification Pathway was developed by ITEEA's STEM Center for Teaching and Learning. By following the suggested pathways, educators can prepare students for a successful attempt at an industry certification through Onshape for the Associate Certification Exam. The Engineering by Design Industry Certification Pathway includes the following courses: Foundations of Technology, Technological Design, and Engineering Design. Also, a standalone Onshape Associate Certification course will be offered. This course can be utilized in any classroom to strengthen Onshape currently being taught in class or serve as a course to be taught in its entirety as a standard computer-aided design course. Here you can see that the courses are divided into two paths, leading to the same final result, the Onshape Certification Exam. Let's break it down. In the 3-year program, you teach the 3 Engineering by Design courses over 3 years, all while integrating the 18-week Onshape curriculum over that period of time. The 3 courses are great for schools looking to do a 3-year program in engineering or technology. To go this route, a teacher or team of teachers must be familiar and trained in the 3 courses: Foundations of Technology, Technological Design, and Engineering Design. If your school has an established engineering or technology program and you just want to add an Onshape component, the 1-year course sequence may be preferred. It has the flexibility to be integrated with other courses or to be done as a start-to-finish program on its own. This is the workplace for design. It uses tabs and buttons along the top that sets familiarity to other CAD products with icon designs just as similar. The left panel is also similar in that it tracks the history of development, so you can go back to a specific area for adjustment. The 3D guide on the right is nearly identical and placed naturally to also be very familiar. The workspace is centered and has accessibility to make adjustments like backgrounds and the ability to zoom in and out. An easily overlookable item is the Learning Center towards the top right. It might be great to have students work on assignments at home, but if they hit obstacles, they may be done for the night. But as an online product, they have online help to show simple techniques. Our curriculum helps them know the vocabulary so they know how to effectively find the help they need while doing assignments. Students can sign up on their own using their own credentials. It doesn't require anything personal. Students can then share with you to your school email. So what can ITEEA do for you? Why use us? Well, we have developed a curriculum that helps students to learn. It's research-based and works directly with PTC to make sure that we have a program that helps the students completely. Then we give you methods to get each student ready to take the certification test. It's not just a matter of teaching them some basic maneuvers, it's also about getting them ready to understand how to explain that. And finally, we offer training to the teachers themselves to present Onshape and answer questions. You need to be the experts first before you can teach the students. And we are here to help you. So you want to sign up. You're sold on the idea and want to know what to do next. Maybe you need to share this with an administrator. Go to our website, iteea.org. Then click the tabs STEM Center, then Professional Learning. From there you will see a subtab called ITEEA Scholastics. You can then see the big orange button, Registration. But it will allow you to choose the course and how to pay. Be sure to note the benefits to you, like your own ability to take the Onshape exam, 40 professional learning hours, a certificate of completion, an articulation agreement to continue graduate studies at Valley City State University, discounted use of the course on our LMS, and free attendance at the Engineering by Design workshop of your choice at the annual conference. Exciting indeed. If you have questions, concerns, or compliments, please feel free to contact me, Scott Weiler, Director of Innovation at SWEILER at ITEEA.org. Thank you.